Welcome back, everyone. I went on kind of a rant last night while I was streaming related to Star Wars, and distinctly recall saying, I should record the video about this. But to be honest, I forgot what it was, and I think that's actually kind of the point I want to talk about this week is for some reason, and to be honest, like there's been this whole the game is dying thing going on since 1993 with Magic the Gathering. I can't tell you the number of times that Magic has died, that it's dead, it is never coming back, and then all of a sudden Magic is, oh, oops, yeah, Magic is the greatest thing since sliced bread all over again. And it's been true for every game of people just kind of spouting that because people are just like preying on the downfall of whatever thing because they're personally upset or they have a personal investment in other thing, whatever it happens to be. And it's, I kind of get it because if you're frustrated with something, there is a level of, well, I'm right. If you just did it my way and did the things that I think are the right thing for the game, everybody would be happy and the game would be the greatest thing ever. And aside from the fact that you're generally speaking wrong, there are a lot of conditions with the game that we are unaware of. And this includes me when just a couple weeks ago, I was complaining about stuff about the game. And honestly, since set 6, I've felt better and better about the game. And I'm going to talk about this in my PAX video, which I'm going to be recording this week. I'm waiting on a few different companies to get back to me because, okay, real talk. As an aside, there were multiple card games. Like I'm holding Cataclysm Arcade right now. Because I was so excited. I just bought their stuff on site. Magusha, I'm super excited about. Where's my list? Like the Super Auto Pets game that's coming out. My son loves Slam Throne. There's a bunch of stuff. And I'm going to talk about them in the PAX video. But I did have the opportunity to go to the in-flight report. And I'm cautiously optimistic. Don't get me wrong. I still think FFG has their head up their ass with a variety of different things from a design perspective, from an OP perspective, from an organizational perspective, from, it's not like the problems went away. However, I don't know where I do know. The entire narrative about the game dying seems to be centered around box prices, which as somebody who's playing the game, I love the low prices. The game is very cheap to get into. It might be the cheapest game to get into now. I haven't checked Pokemon prices in a while because when I was playing that competitively, in all seriousness, you could get a tier 1 competitive deck for like $50. Right now, if you wanted to buy a playset of Karis Nemec, it would cost you more than that. $10 more, at least, as of a few days ago. And that's kind of what prompted, I think, the tirade last night is a lot of people are complaining that, oh, well, this card is expensive. Which is, look, I get it if you're on a budget. Everybody has their own limits on things. It is a common thing. But like, I don't know. It's frustrating. I've gone through the same arguments and I'm tired of having the same discussions in every game that I play, that I cover, that I do content for, that I just play on the side, whatever. It's always the same discussions. It's always the same thing. And I did have an interesting conversation at Locals this week, actually, with one of the guys who work at the store. And I had the buy. So I was just kind of walking around looking at stuff and I was bullshitting with guys there because I've been going there since the game came out so that we've become kind of friendly. And one of the things they said that struck me was you guys, as in the Swoop players, have it very good right now because you have a regular community, at least for us. We used to get more, but it's still pretty stable around 10 each week, usually north of 10, but everyone's, like for the holiday weekend, obviously, it was kind of dipping low. We get like 10 to 16 usually. And then he said you have a stable community and the game is cheap by comparison because we were kind of discussing Riftbound and the disaster that it is to try and get product where you can't even feasibly play the game. Like you might literally be incapable of getting enough cards to build a deck. Or you're paying thousands of dollars for things that absolutely would be worth thousands of dollars in just a month. And I think that people need to just take a breath. There are absolutely problems with SWU. There are 100% problems that are killing this game in terms of like actually pushing it closer to the game ending. Not like, oh, the game is going to die tomorrow, because that is absolutely not going to happen. However, I think that the things that people get worked up over are often not that big of a deal, especially in the grand scheme. And it's really only going to matter, and this is what I try to impress upon people elsewhere. There's a concept of consumer confidence cliff where, look, if you get bad service at some restaurant or some place, we're talking outside of the scope of games, like you get bad service or you get a bad product or something, most people will be like, okay, well, it happens. I return it. I get a new one. It's fine. But on the 7th, 8th, 9th time that happens, or they don't make good on correcting it, even if it's a minor thing, we're not talking, oh, you bought a lawnmower and it literally, it won't act, like it's an electric lawnmower and it won't charge, the battery doesn't work or something. Like it's not completely useless. It's just like, oh, this isn't quite exactly what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't quite what was billed. It's just these minor annoyances that add up and add up and add up. And then eventually you go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just tired of dealing with this. And you go, I'm done. And then you move on to the next thing. That's the consumer confidence cliff where, you're promised this, you only get this. Then you're promised this, and then you only get this. And then eventually you go, it's not worth it. And I think a lot of FFG's problems are in that bucket. Now, are a lot of stores holding on to useless product? Yeah, they do need to do something, because eventually that will impact them in a roundabout way, because they're probably still raking in money selling stuff to or through Amazon, Target, Walmart, that sort of thing. But the gaming stores are going to suffer. The thing is that a lot of players don't understand where that actually will impact them, because, for example, our stores locally, if they were able to sell 0 SWU product, they would still run SWU events. You know why? Because people will continue to show up. And to be honest, a lot of those people that show up still impulse buy stuff, even when they're like in the same breath as them handing over money. They're saying this is not worth the money. Why? Like no one should buy the product, and then they're like buying Carbonite packs at the same time. It's like I don't know what to tell you. And I think that's happening in a lot of places. Obviously, this is anecdotal, and I think people need to just. You have to understand how which it's going to be difficult if you're not familiar with the industry, but like how the industry works and how the different parts of the chain make money. And at the end of the day, a store should continue supporting any game that's going to put butts in seats, because while you're in the store, even if they're not selling you SWU product, you're buying sleeves, you're buying dice, you're buying a bunch of sodas. You're showing that there is a community, so other people, when they walk in and go, hey, I heard about the Star Wars Unlimited game, and then the person working there can go, yeah, every week we get 24 people that are playing, and they're like, oh, that sounds awesome. There's people that I can play with. That's what gets people to spend money. It doesn't matter how cool the set is if you can't play the cards with anyone. There's a lot of factors, and yes, there are issues with the stores having weaker product to sell, or product that no one wants and it's rotting on shelves. That's absolutely a problem. There are issues with Carbonite. There are issues with the organized play system. They're supposed to actually be getting, maybe this week, an announcement, because they teased it at PAX, about a pack related change announced sometime in December, but they didn't give us any indication of what it is. So it could be anything. It could even be a boat. It's funny because on one end you have people that are screaming the sky is falling, and then on the other end you have people that are blaming it on scalper stores. And I think that that's also kind of silly, because it's always a guess what you're ordering, especially when you have so many problems with these games where it's Star Wars, you couldn't get anything initially. SOR and even Shadows was a big challenge. And then Carbonite, people thought that was going to be big. And yes, should stores have learned by now? Sure. But you don't know exactly what your player base is going to order unless you only do it off of pre-orders, but you want to have stuff on the shelf. There's a little bit of give and take. I think FFG needs to do more to try and encourage people to buy packs, to support their stores. But I think people also, I don't understand where this lunacy about the game is dying is coming from. That being said, people need to be aware, and let's say the game did die tomorrow, there will be an enormous amount of I told you so's. And odds are most of them will be wrong because, for example, the Transformers TCG died in 2020. And everyone immediately jumped on, well, it must not have been making money. It must not have been making money. It was 100% profitable, but it was killed because 2 reasons. 1, the pandemic. 2, it wasn't making Texas with a dollar sign. You have to keep in mind a lot of vulture capitalism that is coming in for these organizations where it is possible that certain targets are being set, that they are just unobtainable. It is not possible for the game to do that well. But it could still be doing really well. But they wanted it here, and it's only here. And therefore, they're going to go, yeah, fuck it. Game's dead. It's also a licensed game. So if Disney tomorrow says, we're done, we're done. So there's a lot of fingers in this pie. And I think people are simultaneously, like I said, screaming the sky is falling and also trying to be canaries when they don't need to be, as well as people just brushing off actual concerns as, oh, it's just scalpers. Even if it is, who cares? That does keep product getting sold, and people do get excited by, oh, well, that's a cool thing. Everybody likes it. Like Riftbound might suck. I don't know. I didn't get to play it at PAX because it was always sold out. Kind of gives the implication that there's something cool going on and you're missing out, right? I don't know. Just some rambling this week. I'm getting prepped for my first PQ, so we're going to cut this one off. If it was tomorrow, it's a week, well, 6 days from now. It's definitely between Anakin and Vader. Right now I'm leading Vader. It's tough. I feel like the only person who's feels that way, but this is a very interesting time meta-wise because a lot of people are very convinced about certain relationships between decks, and I definitely disagree with some of them, and the reality is one of us is right and one of us is wrong. We'll have to see. Especially because PQ data is going to be, as always, is going to be a disaster. So we really won't find out until like February or whenever the sectors and regionals are, but we got a little bit of time between now and then. That's going to do it for this one, though. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.